Here's what a month's paycheck looks like at the Krusty Krab. And here's Mr. Krabs clawing back what he can. That $2 is coming out of your paycheck, wait. What? Eugene Krabs might run a tight ship, but when it comes to his employees, nothing is tighter than his wallet. So today, we're gonna go through all the episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants to find out just how much money Mr. Krabs has stolen from his workers over the years. Starting with the time we find out what SpongeBob and Squidward's salaries really are. In the episode SpongeBob, You're Fired, Mr. Krabs does some number crunching and realizes he can save up some cash by cutting things back, namely, one of his employees. Hey, Mr. Krabs, what's the good word? Well, actually, SpongeBob, there's 2 words. And they're not very good. You're fired. What? Okay, that's super harsh, but business is ruthless. Surely Krabs forking out big time for a star fry cook like SpongeBob, right? And it turns out that I'd save a whole nickel if I cut your salary. Completely a nickel. He's been paying the best fry cook in all the seas a nickel. Not even an hour either, it's a day. It's never really confirmed in the show what Squidward makes, but he can't be like any more or any less, so from here on out, we'll say that both the boys are paid a nickel a day, which is super depressing. Turns out they've been going through a cost of living crisis a lot longer than we had. Having seen how much he actually pays the pair now, let's go to the episode Penny Foolish to see just how money mad this guy really is. For once, we see Krabs being normal, heading to the grocery store to pick up some bits and bobs. Okay, sir, your change today is going to be exactly 10 cents. Hey! It's literally 2 days of pay for SpongeBob right there. Talking to SpongeBob, Krabs sees the little sponge walking while he's in the store and watches him do this. Well, I'll be a geriatric jellyfish. SpongeBob found a penny. Unbreak shiny penny just sitting there. He just can't take it, can he? He's practically foaming at the mouth because SpongeBob snagged a penny and he didn't. But that jealousy soon becomes an obsession as Krabs realizes he needs that penny. Hello, SpongeBob. What can I do you for? Can I borrow a penny? A penny? Sure. Sorry. I'm out of pennies right now. Can you believe this guy? He has a net worth of $5.2 million. He's acting like this, having the audacity to ask his employees to borrow money. To be fair, they'd actually be able to help if he paid them fairly. The obsession gets out of hand and he ends up facing SpongeBob, who tells him it was never a penny but some used gum. Well, actually, they're both wrong, and this Krabs is karma. Hey, this isn't dumb at all. Just a dumb old $500 bill. This won't go with my chewed-up gum collection. $500? I did the math, that's 33 years worth of wages for SpongeBob. We'll go into more detail later, but he makes on average $15 a year, which is basically like a dozen eggs these days. Being a tightwad was bound to catch up to Mr. K sooner or later. In the episode of Born Again Krabs, a little visit from the paranormal pushes him to see how cheap he really was. Bell starts and SpongeBob finds an odd, old, rotten patty underneath the grill. Krabs figures he'll save a few cents by sending it out for a customer to eat. Order up, Squidward. All right. SpongeBob, can I get one with less fog? The customer turns his nose up at that monstrosity, but Krabs doesn't stop there. He forces the Krusty crew to sell that bad patty before they can sell a fresh one. Obviously, no one wants to deal with that disgusting hockey puck, and they avoid coming to the Krusty Krab. So to prove to everyone just how good this patty still is, Krabs has a bite. SpongeBob? Yes, Mr. Krabs. Make sure you wrap up that patty. I'm not finished with it yet. While he's recovering, Krabs is an unexpected visitor, and he is not bringing good news. I'm here to escort you to the resting place of all bad undersea folk. Davy Jones' locker. Like every person being dragged down to hell, the Flying Dutchman offers Krabs one last chance at living, but he has to change his ways. I'll give you another chance, but you must always be generous, never cheap. You have me word as a sailor. And to be fair to Krabs, he lives up to his word and starts splashing the cash. Excuse me, but I dropped my Krabby Patty. Could I get another one? SpongeBob? Yes, sir. Krusty Krab policy clearly states that once the burger has reached the customer, it is his/her responsibility. SpongeBob, that's the old policy. Now run back and bring out a fresh one. Aye, sir. Sorry about the confusion. Free toy. He's even installed the whole TV system so the Krabby Patty customers can watch while they eat. Are you enjoying your in-meal movie? Oh, this movie hasn't even been in the theaters yet. No expense spared for my valued customers. Problem is, being this generous comes with a cost, and Krabs is about to take a look at his bill. Only $10,000. That's not so bad. Just subtracted from today's profit. And there's no money in here. Krabs might have done a complete 180, but he's gone too far the other way. Never mind paying his bills, he can't even pay his employees, and Squidward notices this himself. Squidward, I'm worrying about Mr. Krabs. Me too. How are we gonna get paid? Gee, Mr. Krabs, you sure are taking total bankruptcy, wow. Oh, it's just a bad dream. I'll wake up soon. So this is the proper time we can mark Krabs down for wage theft. As Bikini Bottom is close to Hawaii, and Hawaii's minimum wage is $14 an hour, Krabs owe Sponge and Squid $280 in total for that day's shift. This episode ends with Krabs going manic, trying to claw back what money he can, but that just grabs the attention of the Flying Dutchman, who swoops in to take him to Davy Jones's locker. That is until SpongeBob butts in and sticks up for his boss, so the ghostly ghoul offers a new solution. If you had to choose between SpongeBob and all the money I have in my pocket, which would you take? That depends. How much money are we talking about? Mr. Krabs, 62 cents. I'll take the money. Mr. Krabs! Sell SpongeBob's soul for 62 cents, which is less than SpongeBob makes in 2 weeks' worth of work. We've got a double dose of creepy now as we head on over to the episode Graveyard Shift, where Krabs realizes if he keeps the Krusty Krab open at night, he'll get a few extra bucks. Really? If we stayed open later, you'd give us your money? Sure. Mr. Squidward, welcome to the night shift. From now on, the Krusty Krab is open 24 hours a day. He doesn't even listen to his employees' worries or gives them any specific instructions for what to do. He just gets the hell out of there. See you in the morning, boys. I can't hang out here all night. I got a life. SpongeBob isn't exactly upset that he has to do more work, though. You know what he's like. Night, 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 night. Will you please? Here, give me a moment's peace and take out the trash. Problem is, the little guy is used to taking out the trash in the daytime, and now, well, it's a little more creepy. For the Krusty Krab! Seeing SpongeBob clearly scared of the dark, Squid starts to spin a tale about the hash-slinging slasher, a grisly fry cook who haunts the Krusty Krab on Wednesday night, and to signal his haunting, there's 3 telltale signs. First, the lights will flicker on and on. Next, can I have some ketchup? Oh, here you go. There goes the dramatic tension. Next, the phone will ring, and there will be nobody there. And finally, the hash-slinging slasher arrives in the ghost of the bus and ran him over. You gotta hand it to him, Squidward can tell a good story. Well, it turns out the story kinda comes true, called a mad coincidence or some hallucinations from working so late, but the signs start showing up one by one until the hash-slinging slasher is facing them. The sash ringing, the silent flash singing, the bash picking a hat-slinging slasher. But it is just their imaginations getting the better of themselves. Can I have a job application? I dropped my own spatula. I called earlier, but I hung up because I was nervous. See, Krabs, this is what you drive your workforce to. Going insane on the job by being made to work endlessly. Luckily, though, the Krusty Krab goes back to its usual schedule as Krabs realizes he doesn't get as much business as he thought. But he owes SpongeBob and Squidward $672 between them for their 24-hour shift. Not the 2 nickels he'll try to pay them with. Well, we've just seen a short-lived 24-hour stint for the Krusty Krab, but in fear of a Krabby Patty, Krabs pushes everyone to their limit when Plankton forces him to open his restaurant 24/7 for over a month. The Krusty Krab is open 24 hours! Did you hear that, Squidward? We get to keep working and working without ever having to go home. I gotta pinch myself because I must be dreaming. After 10 days of non-stop service, Squidward is near total exhaustion. Mr. Krabs, can I go home yet? No one goes home! Look at these bags under my eyes. Even my bags have bags. SpongeBob, on the other hand, is actually holding up quite well. Krabbypatty says I. That's kind of scary when you realize he's been awake for 10 whole days and isn't even the slightest bit sleepy. And Plankton thinks so too. So he comes up with a plan to make the sponge seriously drained, ordering 10,000 Krabby Patties. We got a big order! I need you to raise that spatula. I need you to say, Team Krusty Krab! Team Krusty Krab! Now make me 10,000 patties! No breaks. They've been working flat out. He's just given SpongeBob the biggest order of his fry cook career, and still Krab says no breaks. I knew he was bad, but it's starting to get inhumane. With that big order under his belt, SpongeBob and Squidward start racing through the days of non-stop service. Yay, 23, 2,600, 1,600. Wait, what's going on? Anyone know how many days it's been? I lost track. 43. But not even SpongeBob can take 43 days of work without rest. And if you thought Squidward looks bad, take a look at this. You're wasting out my food, boy. What? SpongeBob's exhaustion ends up giving him a total nervous breakdown to the point he develops hallucinations and fear of Krabby Patties. Now you're just acting silly. I want you to put this on your crab. No, don't leave me. I didn't chew it. Holy shrimp, they're everywhere. Plankton then tries to be his therapist and hypnotizes him into giving up the patty formula, but thanks to another hallucination, this time of a cool Krabby Patty, SpongeBob overcomes his fear. So with 43 days of non-stop work, SpongeBob and Squidward should have banked $14,480 each, but at their base minimum wage salary and with no overtime, the pair actually came away with $2.15. No, that's not a mistake. Remember, Krabs pays them a nickel a day, so he's only off by $28,955. Now that is some serious wage theft. So far, Mr. Krabs' ways have cost SpongeBob and Squidward $29,907. That's over a full year's wage for a regular fast food worker. And believe me, things are about to explode. We're about to find out why Mr. Krabs has so much money. Because when we get down to the brass taxes, the crustaceous cheapskate has never really cared for his employees. Like the time he decides he isn't satisfied paying SpongeBob in real money. This dastardly plan comes to light when Krabs orders SpongeBob to give Pearl some extra mall money. Yeah, he's even trying to get his employees to pay for his daughter. Hey, this isn't money. No, it's even better. This is what Mr. Krabs pays me with. Mr. Krabs is Wacky Bucks. Ooh, I'm starting to catch up with me. It sure is, Eugene. Now, we've no real idea when he started using the fake cash, so we can't backdate any of SpongeBob's pay, but we do know that a day's wage of the Krusty Krab is $140, so we'll add that to the tally. Stealing a whole day's pay is nothing for Eugene, though. Like, what about the time where we see him cancel an entire month's pay just because he's in a bit of a crabby mood? Eee, why is Mr. Krabs so crabby today? Probably because it's payday. Payday's been canceled. This guy should be in jail. He's built an entire fast food empire on slave labor. There's another $9,184 in employees' pay he pinches. Well, it gets worse. What about the time he hires Patrick and puts him on the employee probation program? It was sure nice of Mr. Krabs to give me a job. And at $50 an hour, too. When I started working here, I had to pay Mr. Krabs $100 an hour. Whoa, hold up. When you first start working at the Krusty Krab, you have to pay Mr. Krabs to work there. Patrick only ends up working one day there for like 10 hours, so he shows out $500. But then he'd also be owed his actual wage, which would then be an extra $140. If you think that's bad, though, SpongeBob had to fork $100 an hour for like 3 months. If we look at the Krusty Krab opening times, we can see SpongeBob and Squidward work 82 hours a week. So if we do some quick math and multiply 100 by 82 and then multiply that by 13, because fun fact is 13 weeks and 3 months, SpongeBob will have paid Krabs $106,600 just to start work. We can safely assume Squidward did the same too, so that's another 106 grand that Krabs has stolen. But he technically also owes the actual minimum wage on top of all that, which is a further $29,848 for both Squidward and SpongeBob, as well as Pat's $640, meaning Krabs' probation program has allowed him to steal $243,688. Being charged to work is one thing, but in Squid on Strike, Krabs goes off the deep end into money mania as he starts charging his employees for literally breathing after he finds out profits are falling. Money, this money, that profit will make me wallet fat. What? Profits down $3 from last month. I gotta start running a tighter ship around here. Oh no, not a whole $3. Normally you'd chalk that down to customer variance, but Krabs doesn't. Instead, he goes on a money-obsessed rampage through the Krusty Krab where he starts to butt heads with Squidward. Breathe on your own time. I don't pay you to breathe. You hardly pay us at all. Speaking of pay, Mr. Krabs realizes that it's actually payday for the Krusty crew, but like I said a second ago, he's the one wanting to be paid. Yes, you're making me pay you to stand at the cash register? What is the meaning of this? Have you gone off the deep end? Imagine having the cheek to bill your employees $20 for this trash. I mean, $2 for existing? What is this, the Lorax? I'd actually be a bit annoyed. I wasn't worth more to my boss. But then again, that's the whole point. Krabs tells the Krusty crew that things are going to be different around the kitchen from now on because he'll be billing them 24/7 for their nonsense. 18, 19, here you go, Mr. K. I think this should cover all my nonsense. Oh, and here's an extra 50 cents for when I was tying my shoe. Come on, SpongeBob, you meant to stick it to the man. I'd say he was being too soft, but he's a sponge. Luckily, though, for once, Squidward sticks up for him and demands fair pay from Krabs, or else he's gonna organize a full-on work strike. Problem is, if Krabs finds out, he does the unthinkable. You mean you're gonna make picket signs? And you're gonna make protest speeches? Yeah! No! Squidward, you didn't tell me I was gonna get fired. Aw, the poor little guy. But getting him to protest against Krabs is a little harder than Squid thought it'd be. Now we're gonna make picket signs. Very important part of strike. Like this, Squidward? Not a picket fence, you ding-dong picket sign. But actually, he does get the hang of it, and while striking, he runs into a young femme. You must be SpongeBob SquarePants. Dude, you are like a fry cook legend. Will you sell my spatula? Anything for an aspiring fry cook. So, did you come down to help out the cause? I came to take your job. Hey, thanks, dude. SpongeBob has been gone for, what, an hour? And Krabs has already replaced him? Well, things are not going well for Squidward either. It suddenly hit him that he and SpongeBob are going to be doing this for a long time. Maybe even if it takes forever! 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 Squidward figures that he has to come to an agreement with Krabs to avoid a future where he's stuck with SpongeBob, so he races at the Krusty Krab. But before he can get through his front door, he's got a visitor. Evening, Mr. Squidward. I was just in the neighborhood and I thought I'd drop by to make you to come back to work. The Krusty Krab is a wreck. Well, isn't that a coincidence? Squidward decides to play it cool though, hoping to squeeze whatever he can out of his former boss. I'm ruined without you and the little yellow guy. Teenagers I hired is ruining the place, and the worst part is, he won't leave me alone. All right, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, please, you'll give us anything we want? Anything. So what do you say, Mr. Squidward? Your story breaks my heart, Mr. Krabs. Why don't we take a little walk and discuss my terms? I got a bad feeling in the pit of me wallet. Only problem is, while the pair are under intense negotiations, SpongeBob has become obsessed with sticking it to the man to the point, well, see for yourself. Glad you saw it our way, Mr. Krabs. Now I can fire them teenagers. Golden Boy's back. Well, see it work. And old Krabs sure don't take it too well. Squidward, SpongeBob, here it comes. In order to pay off these damages, you two are gonna work for me forever. Yahoo! The estimated cost of the Krusty Krab is $389,600, and at the minimum wage in Hawaii being at around $26K per year, that's 15 years worth of free employment. How do you do? But as we know, Krabs does not pay minimum wage. He's got the boys on a nickel a day, and at that rate, he'll have to work 21,347 years for free to get that debt paid off. Or that's 10,673 years if Squiddy pays half. Problem is, octopi only live for a fairly short amount of time, while on average, sea sponges can live for a few odd hundred years. So if we say SpongeBob shoulders the brunt of the work, and at 200 years a pop, including the value of the Krusty Krab, Krabs would have stolen an estimated $8,589,600 from these two. And if it was up to Eugene, he'd have them working while they're dead. Now it's time to talk about the stuff we can't exactly see on the show. SpongeBob has been working for Mr. Krabs since about 1999. That was the finest fast foodsmanship I've ever seen, Mr. SquarePants. Welcome aboard. And Squidward, we know he's been working there way longer than the Sponge. He even had hair when he first started. We should open our own restaurant and stop lining Old Man K's pockets. No thanks. I'm just doing this until my clarinet career takes off. What if it never does? That's said to be around 5 years before SpongeBob starts working at the Krusty Krab. So starting with a little yellow sponge, all right? Working 82 hours a week for 26 years has netted him $5,116. That's going on the nickel a day salary, by the way. $6,100 for Squiddy, too. When you start talking about numbers like this, you realize just how bad this is. In that time, SpongeBob and Squidward should have earned $1,432,704 and $1,708,224. And when you take away what they were actually paid, Mr. Krabs is pinched in extra $3,129,228. That's just the run-of-the-mill, day-to-day stuff too. No wonder the dude's a multi-millionaire. It might be the most famous and tastiest fast food restaurant under the sea, but the Krusty Krab is built on the backs of other people doing the dirty work for essentially free. Over the course of their crusty careers, SpongeBob and Squidward have had a grand total of $12,001,075 of wages stolen from them by the Eugene Krabs. Ching, 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 money, all the money. How I love the greedy businessman is a small fry compared to the big potatoes out there causing chaos and unact and evil. Like the character that just popped up on your screen now, give them a click to see them get their dividends stuck to them. Thanks for watching, y'all.